for more than 80 years. The Western Welcome Week Parade has been a Littleton tradition, with floats, horses, marching bands, dancers, and some very unique entries. But just when it looked like the 2010 Western Welcome Week Grand Parade was winding down, unsuspecting parade watchers were treated to a very special performance.
The Denver area's most intimate professional theater is the Town Hall Arts Center. Located right here on Main Street. All right, Littleton, let's let the fun begin. I know I'm going to go see a show at the Littleton Town Hall Arts Center. Good job. You do realize you've just been flash mobbed, right?
Town Hall Arts Center wrapped up the 2010 Western Welcome Week Grand Parade with a unique toe-tapping dance that surprised and delighted the crowds. An extraordinary conclusion to Littleton's 82-year tradition. See you at the parade next year.
I'm Tim Nims. I'm the museum director, and it's my pleasure to welcome you here this evening to celebrate 40 years of history with the Littleton Museum. It was, in fact, 40 years ago this month that the Littleton Area Historical Museum opened its doors to the public, the culmination of several years of hard work on the part of City Council, city staff, and the community at large, and the first of many steps down the road that brings us to this celebration this evening. There were many people who played critical roles in this development. The three men on our panel tonight really exemplified the effort to create this institution.
The Historical Society, according to the museum's website, was actually founded by Ed Bemis in 1956. But by then he'd already built up quite a collection of items and had found a place to store them in the basement of the County Welfare Building. Also, before Ed became publisher of the Littleton Independent, still a young man at that time, his business ventures included a camera and bookshop in Littleton, and he was taking pictures of Littleton buildings and streets and landmarks and people, farm scenes, and that photo collection is still an important foundation piece of the museum's collection. And quite often when when you see a historic picture reproduced with the credit line for the museum, that's one of Ed's pictures that probably was part of that. So that also is part of his legacy.
I was focused on two very important people, and those are my remembrances, and I will start with Bob McQuarrie. In my judgment, Littleton made the best call they've ever made when they hired this man. He was just the perfect timing for what we needed, and he was a very intellectual guy. He had a great sense of history. He was a purist and stubborn, but he had a model, and we followed that model for years, and luckily we've had great management through the years with Tim and so forth, and through them and others we've been able to advance substantially. And the next man is Varian Ashball. Varian was just so important in the development of the museum. He literally brought it here. I know Ed was early in the hope for it, but it seemed that Varian was everywhere. He was gathering things, he was raising money, he was telling everybody they got to get on this. And
the one other story I wanted to tell about Bob was that his vision for the museum, as you all know, was it's supposed to be a hands-on experience. You're supposed to experience history. The place, I think I may have had a piece in that, goes back to the Urban Renewal Project, where we had one of the properties that was acquired was a blacksmith shop. I called Bob. Bob went down and checked it out, and he said, "Boy, this is really neat stuff. It really is. It's virtually complete turn-of-the-century blacksmith equipment." On his own time, as I remember it, he toured various little towns in the South, or in the Midwest, and came up with photographs and measurements of a blacksmith shop, I think from someplace in Iowa. And he came back, he figured out a place to buy square-cut nails, and he and Lee Lemke built the blacksmith shop and put all that equipment in it. And as you all know, you go out and look at it, it looks like it's been here for 150 years. It's sort of the epitome of his definition of a hands-on type operation.